Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Jesus Christ, those sticks.
Don't be frightened. That's the sounds of the spirits of all the dead virgins that were sacrificed to the Knights Templar. So nothing to be worried about.
Okay.
What do you think he was trying to do, Amy?
No, I knew exactly what he was doing.
Okay.
But it startled my...
I scared the piss out of you. I didn't warn you.
There was a little bit of pee that came out.
Yeah.
Nobody's really prepared for seagulls.
So we're talking about Night of the Seagulls later on.
Who here has ever had food stolen out of their hand by a seagull?
I have.
I have.
No.
Never once.
Never?
I've seen them at Disney World.
That's where it happened.
Right by
to
the
me.
water.
Yeah.
You see the gulls attack a lot. I've seen it happen, but never personally lost a fry or anything like that.
I encouraged it. It was my fault.
Oh, yeah?
It was fries too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Freddy was a jerk. He threw handfuls of birdseed in the crowd and let just chaos.
If you hold a French fry out long enough with a hungry seagull nearby, it'll come.
You know where they were most aggressive in my life was at Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they were most aggressive.
Were you on the American side or the?
I was on the Canadian side.
Yeah.
Shocking. I thought Canadians were supposed to be polite.
They're supposed to be, unless they're seagulls. That's Amy, by the way, right there. And Andy. I'm Freddy. And we're Night of the Living podcast. And just in case it's your first time, we talk about horror.
Just in case you forgot what you clicked on.
Science fiction, fantasy movies.
Mostly horror.
Mostly horror, yeah.
Mostly horror.
We're Patreon supported. If you want an ad-free version of the show, go to patreon.com/NOTLP.
It's also bonus content, and you get merch.
Yep. Twilight Zone podcast, Zoned Out, where Joe and I were revisiting the original Twilight Zone series and really, really digging into its guts.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Are you all up in them?
Absolutely.
Gonna wreck them guts.
And you get more at Origin. I started to say you get more at Origins. You get more at Patreon too. You get Origins,
Which is our older episodes.
with commentary.
Because anything you've done in the late 2000s or 2010s needs an apology now.
Yeah, a lot of it does.
So,
What else is there? Topicana.
Topicana, where we talk about the topics of the day. We just released Topicana
Discord server.
and our weekly meetups.
Yeah. You get a lot for being a patron of Night of the Living podcast.
We try to make it worth your money, your dollars.
So, how's life treating the two of yous?
Could it get more like depressing?
In terms of,
The world? I mean, it could.
it could always be worse, Amy.
It could.
It could be worse. Yeah, you got to look
I
for the
just feel
silver lining.
like I'm struggling, I think, a little bit with depression.
Well, the weather's
Yeah.
getting nice, so that's
true.
I don't want to invalidate your feelings, but like, it's just kind of, if we talked about the world the way it is now, then we should just kill ourselves.
It's not there yet.
Yeah, but that's what it feels like.
It feels that way a lot of
And
days.
I'm sure our listeners know about the
They
state of the
know.
world already, and they don't want to.
You came
wallow
here
in
for an
that.
escape,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm just struggling to
But it's
provide
also
that.
okay to mention when you're not. You got to speak up when you're having psychological distress.
I'm feeling somewhat distressed. Although I did go for a walk today because it
That's
wasn't
nice.
-5 outside.
I remember there was a thing that RuPaul said: you can look at the darkness, but don't stare at it.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
then Patrick
otherwise-
Bateman said, don't stare at it, eat it.
Either way, I can. He's talking about assholes.
Yeah. So how do we know RuPaul wasn't talking about assholes? What was the saying again?
What?
You can
What
look
was RuPaul?
in the darkness, just don't stare at it.
Okay. It works.
You got me, babe. You got me with that one. That was a good one. That's a bright light
Yeah.
in the darkness.
Well, RuPaul,
Do you-
I
I wonder
like
if-
that, Andy. I
Do they
like
sell?
it.
Do they sell that on T-shirts? Because if they do, I'm gonna print one up for everybody.
You mean the RuPaul one, right?
No, the
other one? Oh, they
Don't
probably do.
Don't just stare at it. Eat it.
There's a disturbing amount of
Oh,
people who
guarantee
identify with Patrick
he
Bateman.
exists on a T-shirt somewhere. My God.
Or would it be better on a hat, like a red
Yeah.
one with white lettering, so it can fool people.
Ooh, yeah.
How many Patrick Batemans are now part
Patrick
of Doge?
Bateman.
Yeah, Patrick Bateman.
Oh, they're all of them.
Yeah,
All of them.
all of them.
So
Big balls especially.
so Patrick Bateman has our social security numbers
Yep.
Yep.
and our tax info.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It's fine.
All of our algorithms are going to start playing a lot
There's,
more Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
There's a guy that comes to Horror Hound a lot that cosplays as Patrick Bateman.
Oh yeah,
He has like the slicker on,
yeah, and the
that's
hatchet.
covered in blood. And
Yeah, that guy.
we ran into him there last Horror Hound. He had like the Huey Lewis CD that he's carrying around.
That's funny.
That's the extra cosplay,
Nice touch.
accessory I like.
Yeah, a little something there. It's kind of like the sprinkles on an ice cream cone.
Mm-hmm. You put it on before you eat it.
I was talking to Amy about there was like a great cosplay opportunity and something we were watching. I'm like, I can't believe no one's done this. I think it was a brother and sister character.
The Folgers couple.
Oh, that would be funny.
Oh, I'm sure
that would be a great. This was a horror movie. There was a pair.
So is that commercial.
Yeah. Well, I might have even been Night of the Creeps that you don't see much. A lot of people cosplaying Jason Lively and Jill Whitlow.
Yeah, just from like
It's a
the
lower tier.
like the
but it's not
from the movie poster. Like has a flamethrower and a prom dress,
That would be like a great.
and he has
couples
like the
cosplay.
shotgun and the tux.
Yeah. Somebody should do that. I'm sure someone's done it they probably even have done it at Horror Hound. I just missed
There's
them.
probably a picture of you with him,
I probably took a picture with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
knowing you.
And then I totally forgot they existed.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's probably dangerous to carry around a flamethrower at Horror Hound.
There's a Horror
Yeah.
Hound coming up.
Yeah,
Real soon.
HorrorHoundWeekend.com. If you want to come, we'll be there
Yeah, we'll be floating around
like a turd.
like a turd in a punch
in a
bowl.
bowl. Like
We're
a
the
turd in a punch bowl.
We're the turds in the punch bowl of life.
I'm allowing myself to become
Swirling.
that.
Swirling a boot.
I'm like, it's time to just go with the flow of the punch bowl of life.
I didn't know that Canada hated us this much. No, seriously.
I hate us right
no,
now.
I hate us
Yeah.
too. But the vitriol with which they have been so
Yeah,
quick
they're-
to spew.
They're
Yeah.
booing.
Like, damn, you've been holding on to some stuff.
they're booing
Yeah.
anthems.
You've been holding on to some things.
They're tired of playing America's hat.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't blame them. Of course, I don't blame you. But some of you were quick to start being mean.
As long
You
as
think they switched too quick?
it's aimed at our leadership,
Yeah.
though, so it's okay. It's
I
not
know.
you.
It's not personal. Canadians love us.
I take everything personally. I'm an only child. Everything's about
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I was someone I follow on Facebook who's been traveling abroad was talking about how ugly it is now that we are not welcome in other countries.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I can blend in and say I'm not from America.
Damn you.
You'd probably be welcome in Russia, though.
Damn you and your
Mm.
beautiful
Well,
ethnicity.
I wouldn't want to go to Russia in the first place.
Nobody wants to go to Russia.
I don't want to know. Ew.
No offense to Russians who are like, it's a beautiful country.
It
I don't
can't-
know. It could be.
It seems cold, and I can't
Yeah.
handle the cold
It,
anymore.
it sounds very dangerous too.
It seems gray and sad.
You guys have a lot of concrete.
But then people look at America and have a very wildly different idea of what it's really like.
Yeah,
Who've never
that's
been
true.
here.
I know.
Who knows?
I'm sorry, Canada.
God,
Yeah,
Canada.
that's-
Hopefully it'll get better.
No, you do you, Canada. You keep booing us.
I promise you, nobody voted for that. That was not even on the table until the very end. Nobody voted for Canada 51st state. I promise.
Nobody wants half
'Cause
of
it
this
wasn't-
shit. Even the people that voted, they don't know. I mean, again, I don't want to insult
There
somebody.
is nobody who was like, we gotta get
Yeah.
Canada. Nobody.
The truth of it is, I don't know how many people really understand what was going to happen the minute. Oh God, we're getting into it
Oh,
too deep.
no,
We
we're
gotta
not
get
doing
out.
Don't
it.
stare
no.
at it.
Yeah, they're
Does
staring at the
anybody have a
darkness.
fart joke? Did
Yeah.
anybody have something funny happen
Oh, well,
around farts?
well, here's some good news surrounding Trump. Last couple weeks ago, I've kept meaning to bring it up. I forgot, but I was at the gym on the treadmill, and next to me was a guy talking on his phone, and it was like, "Yeah, I bought some of them Trump coins. I lost a couple $100 already."
Oh, really?
I was like, and literally, I went, "Ha!"
Did he react?
No, but I didn't look over enough. But like,
What did he think? He was just going to turn him over immediately for some sort of
I
profit
don't
or
know
something?
what like. I don't feel sorry for this dude. Like, if
Well,
you can
no.
afford to buy Trump coins, I'm sure that
Well,
you can
hopefully
afford it.
maybe he couldn't afford it.
But he looked like a Patrick Bateman type anyway.
Yeah. That doesn't mean he could afford it. He might be living in debt.
But I just want to thank that man for giving me a little bit of joy.
Yeah.
That does make me feel better.
You know, I remember I used to work in banking, and Iraqi dinar was the big thing all those guys would buy up when we were over there, thinking that it would explode in value. It did not.
Because America came to the rescue.
I mean, they just were banking on somebody's theory.
Currency bros.
Yeah. It's never a good idea to buy gold coins on television. Period.
From the TV.
From the TV or the radio. Don't buy gold coins.
Don't buy gold because somebody on the TV or the radio
But
told
Franklin
you
Mint,
to.
that sounds official.
Yeah. I mean, real gold is a whole separate thing. Like real gold, but still.
I don't know.
But the gold doesn't increase in value because it's printed on a special commemorative coin,
Right.
does it?
It's about the content.
Yeah, it's not
of
the
gold.
actual
Yeah.
collecting value.
Yeah, there's probably so many of them that he made trying to make a buck. I bet you there's going to be a lot of them in landfills before it's all said and done. Right next to the ET Atari cartridges and the hamburger phones.
All right. Are we ready to move on to this thing that we're doing here?
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction. Night of the Seagulls, also known as La Noche de la Graviotas.
Graviotas means seagulls?
I guess so.
I guess so. I don't know. We're all learning together.
This movie is the fourth installment of The Blind Dead. And Amy, you came up with this title, right?
I Googled and that came up, and I was like, sounds like fun.
So we have you to blame for this.
I
To
like
blame?
it.
I really enjoyed
Did you
myself.
really?
Yeah, I really actually kind of liked this movie. Don't get me wrong. Even though it was only an hour and a half long, it could have been shorter. But I thought the atmosphere it built.
Yes,
Was on
that was
point.
a good part of it, the atmosphere and the location. But other than that, I just found it very maddening.
It's so slow. It's an incredibly slow movie
Not
compared
the-
to
it's not
even to the
the-
other ones in the series.
Oh, I
For
didn't
me, it
find
wasn't the
that slow.
pacing. It was people don't act like normal people in this movie.
Well, they're not. There's
I know
there's
that,
only like
but,
one or two normal people in it.
Just the situations that they put themselves into without
Yeah.
questioning it, and
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. But Amy, do you want to kind of synopsize it since you
Sure.
were deeply in?
I'm so deep.
This is your first time seeing any Blind Dead movie.
Yes.
yeah. And for me too, I
For
never
you
even,
too? Oh,
never heard about the series.
Wow,
Yeah.
I had
And
no
you
idea.
said they're all like zombie based or something.
They all have these Knight Templar characters in
Mm.
them. Other than that, like it doesn't matter. You can watch them in any order. It doesn't matter. There's no continuity. The continuity is ridiculously bad, and it's the same director who did all four of them. Yet the continuity still is terrible. But the movies are a lot of fun.
The movie opens with a man and his wife traveling at night through the woods, and it's probably, I don't know whenever the Knights Templar were.
Seems like Crusade era or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the 1100s or something.
They're lost. He goes to a house to find, some help. And he comes across the Knights Templar who proceed to murder him and then come find his wife and take
Titties.
her.
That's the first thing I noticed about her.
She had
Yeah.
very low cut dress on and some big old bitties, let's just say. And they were bursting forth.
I don't
Very
feel this
suggestively.
costume was period accurate.
No. If it was, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
But it's like when I say low cut, I'm like cut to nipple.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then nipple was out.
And then
Yeah.
It was an
nipple fell out.
eruption of breast.
And also in
Which
the
was, I think, on
costume,
purpose.
Yeah.
in the costume defense, like she had big tickle bitties, like Amy said, and
Yeah.
it's hard to contain those tickle bitties.
Yeah.
Also, this is so Spanish. The movie's Spanish, and it's like that moment of the baring of the breast real dramatically with a tear bodice ripping,
Yes.
but it's not romantic. They're
No.
taking her fucking heart out.
Yeah. They stab her heart out.
That's some gruesome shit.
And then they feed her heart to their weird frog icon
Which
idol.
we think is supposed to be Dagon because
Statue.
they gave H.P. Lovecraft a credit as the based on
Looked like
the
a fat
novel.
chicken.
Yeah.
There was a fish
Cartoony.
frog kind
Yeah.
of thing going on there. I would go with Dagon.
So it's supposed to be the shadow. It's based on the Shadow over Ends myth, which is
Right.
the Dagon story with all the fish people. But this is like very loose. They didn't probably even need to credit it as being based on that.
They take her heart out, they feed it to the fish frog, and then they commence
Here's the
to
thing.
eating her.
And we never know why they're doing these things
No,
either.
they don't say
Yeah.
a word at all these nights.
Well, don't they throw the remains on the beach for the crabs to eat? And
After they were done with whatever they were eating,
it
I
was
mean,
really brutal.
yeah.
It
they
was
fell
gross.
upon
I assume it's like
Yeah.
a sacrifice for their gods, but
that's
it
what
was
it is.
never really established what.
Well, they said if they don't do 7 sacrifices in 7
No,
nights, that
that's
the whole
what-
town be
that
destroyed.
comes later.
That's for
Yeah.
the town. That's not
Yeah.
for them. The
Well,
Knights
yeah,
Temp-
I mean, they're giving them to the Knights Templar,
Yeah.
so the Knights Templar doesn't destroy the town. But I think the reason they're immortal is because they took her
They-
heart and fed it to the statue. I think.
They took her baby.
But
I
it's,
mean, her heart.
it's different in every movie.
Yeah.
Like the years change, like when the original story starts. And
well,
everything.
these Knights Templar, if they're killing all these virgins for eternal life, that's a bad exchange because they're not looking good in the present day.
No, so
they got dishpan hands.
Soaking it in Madge.
the dead body on the beach with the crabs
Yeah,
walking
he's got
all over
clams.
it. I thought that was gross and really well done. And
That was the most
I liked
brutally
the
chopped up one
sound.
too.
the sound of the crab's legs walking on. It was so crisp.
What
And
they-
it was all like
the scuddling.
Foley or something.
Everything was like ADR and
Yeah.
after recorded probably all the everything, I think, including like the atmospheric sound and the
Yeah.
ambient sounds were
It was
probably
just-
added later.
I thought the sound design was so good in this movie. Everything was so crisp.
I'm surprised you liked they used so much reverb
Well, that part
later
less,
on. That's more
but-
later on. I think that's used as kind of a cue for when they're on horseback and everything. They add all this reverb and go into slow motion. That's like maybe one of the problems I have with the movie, although I do like the movie.
So now we're in present day, and there's a new doctor coming to town,
Yeah.
and he's there with his wife, who is afraid of everything.
Well, it's understandable. This is not a very friendly town, and
No,
I guess they've never been here. They didn't do any recon.
they haven't
Yeah, he
visited.
just took the job.
He just took the job, which I mean, I can sort of forgive that a little bit because I think it probably has happened that way. These country,
No, I understand
Rural.
that, but
you know,
they literally did not know where the house is. They didn't know where anything in this town was.
they didn't even bother to ask somebody to give them directions.
Yeah.
It's like, look for this house.
So
Take
they-
a turn here.
So like some I guess medical board called you up. Hey, we got a position for you in this
Yeah.
coastal town. You want it? You got to be there next week.
You know what's funny is I'd seen this before, but I still had to ask Amy several times
Yeah.
what's going on.
But
You asked me quite a bit.
Where I'm just like, Amy, is that the same woman? I mean, it'd been a while since I've seen it, but still not enough to
Yeah.
be that confused. I'm like, this one is the most muddied one of all of them, I think.
it was just frustrating to see them be so stupid
Yes.
and have no like foresight and planning.
Yeah, and to me, it looked like they just moved here to his new job to this new town in the middle of nowhere with 2 suitcases.
Yeah.
That's all you took with you?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Simple living.
So now it's present day, which I am going to assume means 1976 because that's when the movie came out. In this village, like they won't talk to them, they won't help them, they don't want anything to do with these new people. And the old doctor who they are there to replace is telling him, like, don't pry in anything, don't go out at night. You probably didn't want this job, but sucks to be you. Bye.
And again, when somebody gives you all these ominous warnings, they don't question it either. They just, okay, bye.
I think they write them off as superstitious.
Because
But that's
they're
the-
clearly from the city.
No, but that's
Yeah.
from the doctor. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
oh
it-
yeah, you're talking about when the doctor
Yeah.
warns him. But he's also sounds pretty reasonable. He says everything will be fine as long as you don't pry. Don't ask too many questions
And don't go out at night.
and don't go out at night. Those seem like reasonable rules.
But we come to find later that this is only for 7 nights. Why would they tell him they can't go out at night all the time? Why would he say that?
Well, who knows? Maybe the other nights there's the different booger man
Yeah.
out there.
Oh, yeah. Maybe there's just a constant flow of boogeymen.
well, maybe it's like this town is very not distrusting of doctors and stuff like that. So maybe the doctor just felt it was unsafe for him anytime.
Yeah.
Guess so.
They leave a lot of questions in this movie unanswered.
And speaking of night, I was so confused.
The day looking
yeah.
night shots.
Oh, all the night shots were done during the brightest part of the day. It looks like.
I mean, there was maybe a little bit of blue filter they put on to make it look like
a hint
of dusk. That's when the sun goes down, right?
Yeah.
Dusk.
Yeah.
To make it look like dusk, but it was very confusing when I saw them go to bed.
Yeah.
And then you look out the window and it's like bright blue out.
Yep.
The funniest thing is they do that. It's in 4 movies. It happens in all 4 of them at some point.
Yeah, I guess I understand.
They can't be bothered.
Budget
wise, and they don't know the filmmaking is not up to snuff.
Yeah.
With what they want to do, but it was very. It took me a while to understand what time of day it was.
Yeah, it almost felt like those where they have all the daylight in Alaska on in, but it has that like sheen of weirdness to it, even though it's daylight, but it's not quite right. It felt like a super full moon, is the only explanation I could think of for how it could possibly be that bright. In my brain rationalizing what I was seeing, whether I needed to or not.
Quit fiddling with that Velcro. Then you can hear it on the microphone.
You can't hear it.
And people are going to be like, what is that noise?
Unless dogs are listening.
I don't think they can.
And the dogs are like,
he's
I hear
fishing everybody.
I should say I set down a picture in an episode recently, and I was like, it's fine. And then
Nobody will hear
Amy
it.
was like, that's loud. And Kyle sent us a clip from the podcast in a text, and it was the sound of the pitcher hitting the table. And it was
loudly.
Funny. So you're welcome, Amy. You have a win. You should thank Kyle.
I need a win. Thank you, Kyle.
Let me know if there's Velcro sounds on this one.
Teddy the village idiot shows up when the doctor has our new doctor. We're just going to call him Doctor. Old doctor.
This is the only sequence I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah.
One of the only sequences. There were some maybe got their good parts, but like when the doctor leaves his wife to escort the other doctor out of town, the wife is left alone, and she's just washing dishes by the window, and you just see Teddy just peer in the window. I thought that was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Teddy just pops up.
Yeah, and like he gets in the house and he's like peering around the door.
Yeah.
Leading up to it, I thought that was really scary.
Yeah.
Because just the way they like lit his face,
very creepy.
It looked very like inhuman.
Yeah, and he also pulls a face.
Yeah.
Like he has a put on. The actor's doing like maybe half of his face is supposed to be like paralyzed or something.
Yeah, something like that. He comes in, he's been beaten up by the townsfolk, and our lady wife administers to his wound, and gives him a place to sleep in the attic.
Yeah. And from then on, he just lives there, I guess.
Yeah, she just lets him stay up there.
They sort of take care of him.
I think it was incredibly sweet.
It really
was
was.
sweet.
Teddy was a sweet character.
But at the same time, that's another red flag for the city, this town.
That they beat up
if this town beats up the village idiot every night, and he has no other choice but to live in your attic now, then I'm amscraying out there.
Yeah, it's not a good sign.
Doesn't seem like a cool place to live. At night, our lady wife is awoken. Well, both of them, her and the doctor, are awoken by bells ringing, and
like singing from coming from the sea or something.
Yeah, like a far off singing.
Eerie.
And then you get to see as the audience the dead rising out of a cemetery.
Yeah, with their fucking dishpan hands.
But we see the procession first of the ladies of the town.
Oh, yeah.
Leading this sacrificial virgin to the rocks by the ocean, and they chant her up.
Are we just assuming virgin? They never mentioned virgin.
We just presume.
Yeah.
But also, did that remind you a little bit of like a Clash of the Titans? When they tied the sacrifice to the rock? That was always like the image of the ocean splashing on the rocks and the sacrifices there waiting for the sea critter to come and eat it up.
Can't say I remember that scene.
Yeah.
But I did like the scene too with the all these ladies dressed in black and just leading this virgin to be sacrificed.
And they look sad.
That was scary a little bit.
Yeah.
But again,
Reluctant.
the wife and the doctor and his wife see this happen, and the next day they're just fine with it.
They just walk. They leave the house. They go out and watch it happening.
Yeah, and then they don't say anything.
They're like, that's really weird.
Yeah.
They don't see her being taken away by the knights, though, right? No. They only see her being tied up.
But
or
still,
do they even see her being tied up?
I don't think they see her being tied up.
They just see her being led.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very folk horror, these elements to it are like, it feels a lot like a Wicker Man kind of thing.
Very much so. There's seagulls sound. Like the seagulls are all, what's the word I want?
Screeching.
They're screeching. They're all riled up.
Yeah.
Because you come to find out that the sounds of the seagulls in legend is the sound of the screaming of the girls that have been sacrificed. But then you see the dead guys, and then they come for their prize.
Mm-hmm. And how.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing I liked about the movie, the explanation of the seagulls and what they really are.
Poetic.
Yeah.
The wife says it a couple times in the movie, and I had to Google it. She says seagulls don't fly at night. So it's odd that you hear them and see them flying at night in the movie. Turns out that's bullshit. Because I Googled it.
They didn't count on the internet when they wrote it.
Movie. They are more likely to be active during the day, but that does not preclude them from flying at night.
It's like that old saying.
Thank you.
Seagull fly by night. That don't look right.
Oh, that old saying.
Yeah. Seagull fly by day. That looks okay.
I remember my mom used to say that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, but wait, we don't live by the coast.
Garbage dump gulls.
There are seagulls everywhere. There are seagulls in lakes.
Aren't those lake gulls then?
No,
Yeah.
they're still seagulls.
Andy makes a good argument. River gulls,
River
puddle
gulls.
gulls,
They're just gulls of where they're from.
damp rag gulls.
Like you say, if they're dump gull, like by a garbage dump, they'd be dump gulls.
Dump gulls.
Dump gull. Yeah.
Just a lake of trash.
Because they're just all gulls, they're not all seagulls, right?
I don't know. I don't know birds. I don't know animals.
There's this great sassy scene in the movie where our lady wife goes to buy some groceries. And the lady that works at the grocery store is like stonewalling her, not even looking at her, helping everyone else. And so it's like our lady, she doesn't even try. She goes, I was next. She Karens like crazy.
That's not Karening.
She said,
Karening is when
You're right.
it's
You're right.
unwarranted bitchiness.
What is the name for when you're not doing it?
It's just being assertive. She's being assertive.
She
I know,
was.
but like
She's stamping
that's
up.
but your whole thing is I was next. The lady knows you're next. You're not doing anything.
So
she
she's
is
just flailing.
blanking you.
She's flailing.
She's flailing.
But I kind of laughed at the shopkeeper lady.
Yeah.
Because she the doctor's wife is trying to get served, and some other lady comes up and just gives her order, and the shopkeeper's like, your regular order? And she's like, yes. And it's literally just 5 potatoes. It's like, is that her? Does she order 5 potatoes every day?
5 potatoes, the
Bitch
regular.
loves potatoes.
They call it the Betty there because her name's Betty. Getting 5 potatoes.
You're
It's
right.
like,
I
I'm
just
worried
noticed
about.
that.
I'm just worried about her diet. She must be really backed up.
She's starched out of her
Yeah.
mind.
Does eating a lot of potatoes back you up?
I don't know.
I
It's
know
just
cheese does.
yeah, it's just very like dense food. I feel.
Okay.
And
God, we ate a lot of potatoes growing up. Almost every day.
Did you have pooping problems?
Nope.
Good.
Potatoes didn't do any harm to me,
Glad to hear it.
but who knows?
I mean, if you're eating potatoes or any greens, I feel like you're just gonna be backed up all the time.
Yeah, could be.
I always feel like greens get things moving.
You could have
Yeah.
pooped more,
Yeah.
I think is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Except when they
Why
were-
does it always come back to poop with us?
Dookie, because you stopped developing at the anal stage of your life.
She stopped developing at 2.
We all did. We all stopped at the anal phase.
All right. Well, yeah, there's the scene, in the grocery store, and that's fun. she's not a Karen. How do we get to Teddy getting beat up again?
Well, you forgot the nice young lady who insists that this shopkeep help her, who then becomes the unfortunate next sacrifice, right?
Oh yeah, so they meet up. They meet Lucy, who wants to help her at the grocery store, and they decide to hire her as a housemaid
because she's the only decent person they've met.
Yeah, and poor Lucy ends up as a sacrifice, but
probably also because she's the only decent person.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't they just left her. Poor, like they're trying to get away from. Like I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah,
they're like the three of them are trying to flee these Knights Templar, and they're all together. But Lucy trips.
Oh, off her horse.
Yeah,
and they just keep running.
And they just keep going. They're like, sorry,
sucks to
we're
be you,
gonna
Lucy.
go. Good luck, Lucy.
Poor Lucy.
Yeah, I felt bad for her. Like she was the only one trying to help them out.
Her and Teddy.
Then her awful employees just leave her behind.
Yeah.
Why do they keep beating Teddy up?
Because I think just because he's different, and that's how this town is.
Yeah, they're like this.
Not because they know he talked to Lady Wife.
There's like this
wife?
backward town, and they don't like anything that goes out of the norm.
Right. Yeah, he gets beat the shit out of again.
Yeah. And I do think they try to kill him when they realize he's talking to them too.
Yeah.
They take it even further.
Right.
Like I think he was getting a regular ass beating just because he was different.
Right.
But then this last ass beating was supposed to kill him.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cruel movie.
Mm-hmm.
You come to learn that every 7 years, the knights need 7 girls over 7 knights.
Mm-hmm.
Are there 7 knights?
You're like 6 girls, 7 nights. Is that right? Or is it 7 nights, 6 girls?
6 days, 7 nights.
It's
And
like
Hayes.
that Anne Heche movie with Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't make sense.
I remember that movie being a good time.
Yeah, I think I liked it.
But the title didn't make sense, though.
Yeah.
So, how does it get to, remind me, how does it get from Lucy? How do they get Lucy out of what she was? Do they just run out on the beach and they untie her?
Yeah, the doctor comes and saves her.
That's right.
And then the knights are also in the water at that point, aren't they? They're like sloshing along real slow.
Right.
Oh, but did we mention one of the knights, not in the Knights Templar, but one of the knights in terms of day, some girl runs up to their house and is begging for help.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that
And the
part.
family comes and takes her away.
Yeah, the first thing's like, she's hysterical. Give her a tranquilizer. And he just shoots her up with something.
That's the benefit of having a town doctor.
But he didn't ask what was wrong or anything like that. He just saw a hysterical woman. And then his only solution is
knock her out.
Knock her out. And he kind of
what else do you do?
He kind of did her a disservice because he made her more pliable.
Yeah, it was easier to sacrifice her
because she wasn't trying to run away anymore.
Yeah,
complicit.
But that's his solution to everything, I guess.
Is just take a sedative.
Yeah.
They get back to their home, which is basically just built of stone. So it's a good hidey hole, except for, the windows and the doors, which are incredibly breakable. But they start doing Night of the Living Dead. They just start boarding up the doors and windows, pushing furniture all about, getting themselves prepared to last the night because now they've taken Lucy and the knights want their sacrifice back. So they have to protect themselves. I thought that was a good scene.
Yeah.
Or series of scenes.
Yeah,
the
the
little
siege scene.
The skeletal hands coming through the door.
That was another problem I had with the movie. It reminded me of that scene in Scary Movie 2 where Cindy's running away from the skeleton and Brenda's finally sees what's chasing her. Yeah. He's like, Cindy, this is a skeleton. These are bones.
Yeah, what are you so scared
It's
of?
like, would you run from Calista Flockhart? And that's what I thought about this when these knights, undead knights are coming after these people.
Yeah.
They're skeletons. They're the only thing they have. They're not fast moving or anything like that.
No, they're very slow.
They're not supernaturally powerful or strong. They're literally bones.
Yep. And they're very fragile looking.
Relentless.
And
Yeah.
yes, they do have swords.
But they can't make fists.
Yeah, but
They can't.
I feel all you need to do is swing at them with something
have any
hard,
tendons.
and they'll just crumble to a pile of bones.
I worry that they would just come back together like those things in Super Mario
Yeah.
Brothers that have the skeletal tortoise shell, whatever the hell they're
I
called.
just wish Brenda was there to
Yeah.
shake the doctor and his wife. And say, This is bones.
This is bones. That would be an awesome ending to the whole quadrology or whatever.
They figure out something that we could have told them based on all of our movie watching, that you light them on fire, that'll work.
Yeah, seems to. And earlier, I don't know if they say they burned him to death in this one, but I think they burned in the first movie. I think they burned him at the stake originally, the Templar, before they were turned into the zombies. There's another one where they use like a hot plate, not a hot plate, but like a branding iron
There you go.
that covers their eyes.
A hot plate just keeps food warm.
Yeah, they could use a hot plate and they keep things warm with it. It's amazing. Soup like it just came out of a cauldron. But no, the fire, I don't know if that was supposed to be. I don't think there was any real care to make callbacks to anything in any of these. But
You're right. The zombies get in. They kill Teddy.
Poor Teddy.
Poor Teddy. We liked the village idiot.
He did his best to try to help the stupid doctor.
He
and
was
his wife.
kind.
He was.
I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna be real with you. This dog farted before.
Yeah, I
think she
smell
just
it
did it
too.
again.
Yeah,
and
it's
it
rough.
smells like popcorn,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't. So that makes it real bad.
Well, she had a little popcorn.
No, it shouldn't smell like straight up freshly
Yeah.
made. You walked into the movie theater.
No, don't.
Are you tempted
do
to
that.
lick her butthole or something?
No.
Is that what you're so scared of?
Looking into that darkness.
Yeah. It's
I'm afraid it's gonna look back.
It's like when you're on like a high, like on a tall building, like you're
The vertigo?
no, it's that thing where it's like it's not the fear of falling, it's the fear of like jumping off.
Oh, yeah.
Like thinking about like falling to your these dark thoughts.
I thought you were saying that her fart was making you woozy, like
Yeah.
you were on the edge of
Yeah.
a high
cliff?
rise.
That's what scares Amy, that
Yeah.
she wants to lick it.
That's the scariest thing
I
I've ever
promise
heard.
you that I do not.
She's a butter-bodied dog. Okay.
Whatever. So they come up with, I think, a really good idea. They steal the horses of the zombies. Now the horses are not zombies.
But we never really know where they came from.
I assume they're zombies because
Did
they
the
look.
village give them to them?
No, they kind of look desiccated and.
I think they were
old.
wearing clothes.
No,
the horses were.
It looks like the filmmakers put some makeup on the horses to make them look old.
Well, I know they put them in their Templar horse clothes. Yeah,
It's a little horse outfit.
it has a horse outfit on. It has a dress on. All the horses do.
They do.
For the look, you got to have the whole look.
I thought it was fucking funny that they steal these horses to get away, but the horses just take them to the den of zombies.
Yeah,
Like, where did you think it was gonna go?
they're loyal.
Smart horsies. This is where Lucy gets got. Poor Lucy.
Yeah.
And the doctor and his wife didn't do anything. They just looked back
They were like, "That sucks, Lucy."
Damn. Shit.
and they were
kept
like,
going.
"Yes, we don't have to pay her this week."
So this castle, it's where the zombies are from. It's where they live. It's where their big frog idol is.
Yeah.
And Doctor and his wife come up with the great idea of destroying the giant statue.
And it works like
And it works.
gangbusters.
Done. All of our zombies are
I mean,
truly dead.
You'd think those dumb villagers would have thought about this
Knocking the statue over at some point.
They were
that-
like, "Nah, we'll just sacrifice
because
the chicks."
these knights they only come to life once every 7 years, right?
How many years? Do you remember?
Yeah,
how?
every
It's every
7
So
years.
it's 7 for 7 to avoid 7.
Yeah,
Seven.
seven virgin sacrifices every 7 years,
Yes.
and they won't destroy the town.
Yeah.
They have plenty of time to go
Yeah.
to this
lots of time to
lair
research.
where these
get some
slumbering
help.
knights are, and just knock over the temple.
But I guess they never thought of it. It looks like a giant Funko
I think
Pop.
it's one of those things where somebody said, "Well, that's just how we've always done it."
Yeah.
I guess like they're very
They were probably scared of it.
superstitious and tradition, but still.
They weren't ready to change.
And how many virgins are in this small town too?
And you know that this is
handful.
going to happen, so get rid of all your virgins before, and then they won't have anybody to take, but they won't be mad at you about it because it's like, well, I don't have any virgins.
Yeah.
Right?
You send them on a trip.
Or you gotta have.
Yeah, you send
virgins.
them on a trip like where they sow the wild oats and come back non-virgins.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
You
Andy
get all your
fixed it.
virgins laid, and then there's your loophole.
Andy taught the blind dead to see.
Aw. You're amazing.
You know they I do you have any more you want to say about Blind Dead? I just was gonna
No.
say they made a more recent one like in 2020 or something.
Oh, really?
Like it has not the same people, but it's based on the Blind Dead. Has the Templars in it. It looks derivative of the originals, but like it doesn't look terrible.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like Trauma did like a short that was based on it too, that they released on something.
I get
Or not Trauma, Full Moon, sorry.
all of your full moon.
Mm-hmm.
I love the trash that they deliver.
I know you do.
I know all the concerns and problems with the movie that you have, and I understand them, and I receive that. But I don't know why this one hit me in the right way, that I was into it. I thought it was super creepy, atmospheric. The sound design, I don't know what, I'm not into ASMR or any of that stuff, but something about this movie.
It did have like clicky clackies, a lot of
It
like
had a lot of clicky
rich
clacky
sounds.
that I like.
No, I like the idea of it. It was just
Yeah.
parts of the execution that kind of took me out of it. And again, just full of stupid people.
I think Aaron Crowell is the one who introduced me to these originally.
From Horror House
Yeah.
Radio.
That sounds about right.
Because they, I don't even think that you could see them here until like the 2000s or something.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah,
But
you know.
yeah. Night of the Seagulls.
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing about the seagulls screaming and you couldn't discern a woman's actual scream from the sound of the seagulls to be really interesting.
Yeah.
How many times has a seagull's screech been mistaken or covered up a woman's scream? Ooh, it's evocative.
Yeah.
So all these women are hungry. That's why they're always trying to get food.
They're trying to get your fucking French fries. They are starving.
That's what happens. They have an insatiable craving for loose French fries.
From the ground.
Once you've transmogrified into the seagull.
You know, women, they love French fries.
I love them right out
Lay
of people's
off, I'm
hands.
starving.
Rest in peace, Chris Farley.
Indeed.
All right, then. You want
Yeah.
to talk about that algorithm?
Algorithm.
You were worried before the show we were talking, and I realized I'd only really watched.
Oh, do we want to
One
mention
thing.
that we went to see the monkey?
Yeah, I want to talk about
we
the
wanted
monkey.
all three of us wanted to talk about that. Amy, did you want to talk about? You had like one thing, right? Or did you?
Oh, before we talk about the monkey?
Yeah. I figured we'd just hit the little short things first.
I don't have anything. That was the problem.
Oh, okay.
God.
We watched
Y'all didn't watch anything
Well, I
the whole
watched
week?
some Drew Carey. We caught up on The Simpsons. But also I did watch The Last Slumber Party, but I think I've seen it before.
Oh yeah, that was a riff
and
tracks.
it's not good.
was
But we
really
watched
fun.
the riff track, so
Well, I watched a Doggone Hollywood with our friend Paul Gauthier.
A what?
It's called A Doggone Hollywood. A dog gone, but as one word.
Oh.
Hollywood.
yes.
And it's about an acting dog.
Does
It's
it talk?
It has
It can
telepathically, and Paul's in it for briefly,
Oh, I see.
and so is Loki, his dog.
Yep.
Do you actually get to see Paul?
Oh yeah.
Straight on, they're like it was like a talent
He even
search kind
had
of thing.
he had a line.
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
yeah,
I mean, basically it was like sit Loki.
yeah. It was neat.
But
And
that's our friend.
it was Jim Wynorski, I think is his last name, who
Wynorski.
directed Chopping Mall.
How
Did
was
it?
Paul's performance?
Paul was fantastic. He was the
Wonderful.
best thing about the movie. Him and the adorable little dog.
Ooh, I got to ask. I'm going to get a
terrible
copy of this and ask him for his autograph.
You
Can you
should.
sign this, Paul?
Get a hard, like
Yeah.
a physical copy.
Yeah.
Get a hard copy.
Get a hard one.
Where'd you stream that at?
I streamed it on Prime,
Ah, yes.
and it's
A Dog on Hollywood. We turned it off
It's a kid and
after
family
Paul
movie.
was
Yeah.
on our screen,
What year
so we
was
did not
this?
finish it.
This came out in 2017. You see, the dog's a pilot.
Oh, well, how about that?
Yeah, flies around in a little helicopter with
Oh,
his
well, that's
buddy.
adorable.
Yeah,
It's got little goggles on and a little scarf.
Shadow Stevens was in it. Remember him? He used to host American Top 40.
My God.
And
It's weird that he spells with an E.
yeah, it is.
That was Shadow Stevens.
Yeah, and Michael Paré is the sheriff in it,
Oh my God.
and Cynthia Rothrock's in it as herself.
All the 80s people.
Yeah. So Paul, hopefully you know you're gonna be famous overnight now. People know
We'll
about
get you
your
a
movie.
table of horror.
Sign autographs.
There you go.
Dog on Hollywood posters. Anyways, you were fantastic. Loki was great. We saw the monkey, as Andy was saying.
Yeah. I thought I had a really good time with it.
I liked it.
It was
a lot.
great. Yeah, it was very
It's
funny.
Exactly what I think we needed at these times. Something just light and fun.
Yeah.
Something you don't have to think about too
Super
much.
bloody,
Yeah.
but light and fun.
It felt like it was like aimed right at the teenager inside.
And
Yeah.
it didn't take itself too seriously either.
Yeah.
Which, like, coming from Oz Perkins is kind of.
Didn't you,
You know what I
expect
mean?
it to be a lot more like
Yeah.
his comedy chops are legit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
coming off of like his other movies I've seen, like Long Legs and
Yeah.
Black Coat's Daughter, which are
Very serious.
very serious,
Grim.
to me. Yeah,
Yeah, they're grim all the way through.
And this it's like a black comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's laugh out loud funny in
Yeah.
a lot of parts.
You were
including
laughing very loud.
he Oz Perkins as the uncle is great.
Yeah.
He's
And
so great.
There's a lot of callbacks to other Stephen King work without being obvious about it,
Yeah.
which I like a lot.
Very fun.
Yeah, I recommend seeing it. Does it need to be theater money?
It was worth it.
I'm always one to say like, yes, go see it in the theater because I like the theater experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, this movie looked good, big,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of big splattery deaths in it.
That's true.
Although some of the CGI was kind of like the blood splatter parts.
It didn't bother me just
Yeah.
because I was laughing too
Yeah.
hard to care. Did you notice that the kid who was dressed up like a Ramon, that was Corey from Halloween Ends?
I had to look up. That was something that I was confused about his storyline.
Me too.
I would say.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
It didn't.
He was there as just a device.
It
know,
wasn't
but-
clear
Yeah.
what that character's
Purpose was
purpose, like what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even.
It doesn't make sense of why he had the monkey.
You feel like something's missing.
Yes.
Yeah. There probably is.
Oh, it went away.
I'm sorry.
Was it a fart?
Maybe it's
No.
like whatever scenes that were in the monkey that helped make that character a little more sticky. It was cut out. They're on the cutting room floor. They'll probably show up on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, well, I'm glad they cut it. Is what you'll say. And you'll be like, you should have just went with it all along. Not question it. Is it helping, Amy?
No, what was I gonna say? Oh, it's gonna make me crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate that.
If it comes back to
I'm
you,
too
you should release a whole
shit.
separate podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I will.
It's called.
See if I
What,
don't.
what was I gonna say with Amy Morris?
What the fuck?
There's a lot of that.
Why'd I come in this room?
There's a lot of that in my life already.
Yeah. Feel it.
And then you forget to put out the podcast every week.
I'm never gonna remember. I was trying to trick myself into remembering.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been playing some Phasmophobia. That's something I don't know that we've discussed.
It's a ghost hunting game.
It's been around on PC for a while, but it's new to us.
So you're the ghost hunters.
Yeah. Team of 4, if you can get 4 people to play with you.
And you have like ghost hunting equipment and you're trying to find what room the ghost is in. And then sometimes it comes out at you.
It works a lot like Clue, but it's a
Scary.
first person.
So it's like you said, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you find like
I would love to see you play this
Yeah.
game, Andy. Oh my
I
God.
think you'd have fun with it.
You would die.
I don't want to die.
You would lose your voice
I
from screaming.
screamed. I screamed, Andy.
You scrumped.
It made me scream.
Scrumped loud.
I'm hooked once it made me scream. keep coming back for that scream. It was good.
Did you guys finish it yet?
No, we've only done one house.
Oh,
and
It's hard.
It is. You get killed a lot. Like you go crazy too.
ghosts kill you? No.
Yeah.
No.
You can't spend too much time in the dark.
What do they kill you with?
Their hands.
No.
They get into your brain. Basically.
They're like brain worms.
Yeah.
Oh, like RFK.
Yep.
Basically the same.
Basically.
Yeah.
So I watched the new Apple TV movie, The Gorge.
Oh, yeah. What did you think?
It's on my list.
It's such a silly, stupid movie.
Yeah, but is it a good time? Stupid
I
or
don't
waste
know.
of time?
I don't know if I enjoy this or not.
Yeah.
It's so okay. The premise is that there's this gorge, and on either side is kind of like a watchtower, and there's on each watchtower somebody is stationed because something comes evil. These evil creatures come out of the gorge, and these people that are on the watchtower have to like contain them from getting out. And Anya Taylor-Joy is one, and Miles Teller is the other one. And it's kind of like a rom-com because they're communicating back and forth with these dry erase boards and these sketch pads. It's like that Taylor Swift video, "You Belong with Me."
Oh, I don't know that.
Okay. Well, it's the whole video, like the nerdy girl and the jock, they live across the street from each other, and they're like just writing these messages back and forth.
Remember they did that in Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
Did
too,
they? Okay.
Where it was the guy who had the sporting goods store across the street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he went underground because they met up.
Yep.
But that's how. That's the like first act of the movie. Them getting it's kind of like a meet cute type thing.
Yeah.
And it's all cutesy and hallmarky, and they're like dancing and through binoculars and everything, and celebrating holidays together.
No.
So, but it's so stupid. It doesn't set you up for this. That it's like a rom-com from the premise and everything.
None of the like
just looked like a
marketing
thriller to me.
materials
But
advertise it that
just
way.
the way it's presented, it's so. It doesn't go what they're trying to project.
Yeah.
The this cutesy Hallmark stuff, and they put on records and it's danced with each other, and
Yeah.
it's so silly.
You're like,
You
they do
don't
all-
expect.
Oh, this human stuff.
Yeah, I like literally laughed out loud and I was watching this movie by myself. I was like, because it's so silly.
Does it ever get serious?
Yeah, because eventually they stupidly go down the gorge and see what's down there.
That's
I'm not gonna
look in the
spoil it,
gorge.
but like something
It's
dark and evil down there.
like the butthole you got to stare into.
Oh my.
They went into the butthole,
They went into it.
but once they finally get down the gorge, it's
Beautiful, and they're like, "Oh, this
it's
is why
like,
it's
oh,
called the gorge. It's short for gorgeous."
no, it's actually a buffet and they gorge
Oh,
themselves.
that sounds
Oh
good.
shit.
But once they finally get down to the gorge, it's kind of like a video game.
Yeah.
Very like Resident Evil, or what's that town that's abandoned?
Silent
Hill?
Silent Hill is very
Yeah.
like that too,
Oh yeah.
and it's
Boggy.
very like first person shooter type thing.
Gotcha.
It looks like a video game, and that's fun.
Yeah.
Them trying to get out of the gorge and all these creatures and everything.
Yeah.
Pretty decent character design. Some really sketchy CGI. I was like kind of shocking to see.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm hearing that more and more. People are saying, "Oh, this wasn't very good, the CGI."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of, "Wow, did you see the CGI?"
Yeah.
It's more like I see shittier CGI. I
Yeah.
wonder what that all means.
Well, I don't know if this was intended to go to, or is it made just to go to Apple streaming, or was it?
Or did they buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if it's anymore with where technology is that it's almost inexcusable to have bad
Yeah.
CGI because it's almost, it should be refined at this point,
But
right?
People want to spend the money for it.
Yeah,
I was just not expecting Anya Taylor-Joy to be in such a kind of low rent movie,
Right.
because she's a pretty huge star at this point.
I'd
and,
like to see her do some dumb shit.
Yeah.
If all you ever do is serious shit.
No, I think she chooses good projects, but this just seems like very B, C tier stuff.
Yeah.
It was just surprising to see such a big star going for something so low rent.
Yeah, it's a B movie. You're saying basically.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Like it seems very straight to video.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's the streaming thing now. Like there's all these big stars making these straight to like Netflix or Amazon Prime movies. That's not as like looked down upon.
Yeah.
As much as before, but
gotta get paid, you know.
Yeah, but it's just very surprising. But I don't know if I like this movie or not. It's a thinker.
A thinker, you
But
said.
not a stinker, apparently.
I'm thinking about the stink.
Thinking of the stink.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all we've got, right?
I think that's it, baby boys and girls.
Yeah. You want to read those sweet Beelzebub babies?
Oh,
we got to pick a new theme.
We got to pick a new theme, new month,
Amy.
new theme. Oh, Lord. What if
Pick
I
a
pick
good
something
one.
stupid?
Pick a good one. Pick a winner. It's a booger.
It's so tiny. Am I
Booger-
going to be able to
booger
read
theme.
this?
What does it say?
Supernatural horror.
All right. That's
Isn't
pretty
that
broad.
most horror movies?
Yeah.
Well, no, supernatural horror is
this is a
I
Freddy
think more
suggestion.
ghosts than goblins. And
So we want gas. Gas?
not it's a whole
Ghosts.
it's a subcategory
All right.
of horror. There are more under it. You could get even more specific, but
Well, let's be as clear as we can be.
Yeah.
so
Ghosts?
supernatural horror, I would say let's go with, what do you guys think? Ghosts and demons or anything under the
Like
supernatural?
black
That's
magic
fine.
type things? Is that supernatural?
No, I think supernatural horror more has to do with the
Entities?
entities of a sort, like demons and ghouls and goblins
Like,
and that sort of thing.
Like Lovecrafty stuff? Is that supernatural?
Yes.
Well, that would be like even more
Is that-
specific.
or is that like a subgenre of supernatural?
That's a subgenre. That's weird horror. Examples of supernatural horror are stuff like The Exorcist, Poltergeist, The Conjuring, The Shining. So mostly ghosty.
All right. So we're going to do ghosts with the most.
You know, but also things like The Ring or The Babadook. But those are all movies we covered. So we're going to be looking for stuff that isn't, the most obvious
All right.
examples of those.
It seems like
Supernatural
a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
These are very broad.
Yeah. How
We'll
are we
see-
going to.
we'll each come with something.
All right. We'll each come with something.
And then get our MailChimp winner going for the fourth pick.
All right.
And hopefully they'll answer us.
Go to notlp.com. Sign up for the mailing list if you want a chance to pick a movie for us to watch. At the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/notlp if that's something you want to do. Matt, Branan and Emily, Jeffel, Iona Goodwin,
Own a great one.
Dr. Brian, Old Dirty Bill Stirred, Bill Fahrner, Blayne Yogurt, Jordache Jeans, Monica, Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora, Ernest, Dave, and our Hollywood star, Paul.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right,
Thank you. I love you. Bye.